Anyone died down below the roadway, as far out as you want to go.
Okay, so the other side of the fence on this side or this side?
Either side, we don't know. Okay. The theory, from what I could read, is that the Manju came up north and attacked from the south and attacked towards the mine.
Okay, so more likely than not, they were hiding down in the trees down there.
Well, they were hiding in Donovan called it, they were hiding over there.
Okay.
And they swung around, cut off the trees, and attacked this way, while the other side, the Ottawa and the Cheyenne and the Arapaho attacked up the road, and cavalry, like partly out and telling them to retreat back to the road here. So that's my working theory, and you may be able to change it by what you find.
So on that side, the wind's going to come from this way, so we'll be protected from here. And do you want to start there? Start there. It just helps Mojo, helps all of them get intact. So yeah. We're going to acclimate them over there.
Oh, this is actually a little hill. Just monument's on. It dropped down a little and then right. So I have no idea exactly where they may have attacked from, but somewhere up there, if we find something, it'll be very interesting. If we find nothing, then
yeah. So this was Larry with the French peach.
I'm John Grebenkemper. I'm on the sunrise, and the temperature was already in the 80s, and the bright sun was there, and the wind was hot wind blowing out of the north. The dog didn't find anything. It was pretty too hot. So we came back last year because we were out doing some other stuff in Wyoming. Let's give it a try with more reasonable conditions. And then took the dogs into the monument there. And it's everywhere. And just went on out. Just a little 3-hour trip. We went on out all the way to the Wheatley Fisher Rock River. Yes, this is really intense. And then the most interesting thing was below that, out in the hill, where they started alerting them where Indians would have died attacking the rock, shot by rifle fire.
And it's pretty cold, but some people are
and get used to the odor and what the odor's doing. You see it's up that monument. We found that absolutely. It's mining that monument. You see that chomping up the mouth?
Yeah.
That's stress. I got lots of odor. Now in all this wind, she's got to pinpoint that odor, right? So if you watch Colette's hand, her hand is down. It's just calming the dog so that the dog can focus.
Forgot the SD card.
Oh no.
Hold on. Maybe when that happens.
I got backup.
And how old is this dog? 2.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the dog's name?
It's Mojo.
Mojo.
Yeah.
So can you say that again regarding the rock, the monument?
The rock is porous, and so the odor has been sitting there and getting absorbed into that rock for how many years? Consequently, there is odor, and then you've got mortar, same thing, it's porous, so it's going into that and sitting. So, odor is a gas, which means it goes where it wants, based on the weather, moisture. Odor goes to moisture, moisture goes to heat. So think about the rocks. In the evening, the rocks are still hot, so odor is getting absorbed into the rocks. And then in the daytime, when the ground gets warm, it goes back out into the ground. So we know the earth breathes. As the earth breathes, it moves the odor.
Wow. Amazing.
Isn't it fun?
It is. This is so educational. I love it.
It's a constant mystery for us.
Oh.
We know that our dogs find the odor of human decomposition, but where it is and why it's there is different. So the difference between these dogs and like human remains dogs, ours are historical human remains. Human remains, a lot of times the bodies are on the surface, or their bones are on the surface, or if you dug, you could find bone. But after 100 years, we actually had a body buried for 10, and we pulled it up. It was like the bone only. It was like balsa wood. It was like it was thousands of years old. I have some that are tested for age. Oh, we missed. The dog did come to a final, but you see how long it took with all of the odor that's here and the wind and the swirling. You chase odor. And if there was a odor on the surface, it's not no problem. But you see where you're chasing gas. You're chasing the odor. You're not looking for a source that you can put your nose on. And so that's the difference, and why these guys, sometimes it looks a little looser. It is looser. We don't have a source, and our dogs are not putting their nose on a source. Now, we train for that, which is why the dogs can do it instead of just going in there and sitting. There's odor. So we train them specifically for this. So can human remains dogs do this work? Yep. Every once in a while they can get lucky. But it is not
Judy picked another nice day to do this. Oh, did you hear that?
I did. What did he say? I got it recorded though, right?
Yeah.
You said you picked a nice day.
I did, didn't I? And John just took credit for it.
I might have a piece of plastic in my truck.
What's
I
that?
might have a piece of plastic in my truck, a little a big bag.
Yeah, maybe that's gonna work.
They're not up the rock. We've got pictures of all the dogs up on this rock.
Wow.
And you see today we've got nothing.
Yeah. Huh.
Was that one dog sitting here acclimating, looking like it's doing nothing, and you go, wow, it goes in there and immediately goes to a spot. It's because it acclimated here. That one acclimated on its feet moving. Same thing. It took the same amount of time for both dogs to acclimate. It just looks different. No, we talked about your dog and the stress. Red. So you've got odor is red, and she's got to find one spot. So on your hat, find one spot that looks a tiny bit different than the rest and of the tell red. Me about it. That's what the dogs have to do there. So when we go out here where it's individual grays, you can imagine it's much easier. Because you've got blue and you've got one red spot. Not a big deal. And trying to find, that's the snapping of the jaws. She was foaming. She's eating grass. It's like, holy crap, Mom. You just gave me an awesome problem. Our dogs, you asked what's the difference in the dogs? Our dogs love that. It's stressful. It's the highest concentration because it's spread all over. And we're trying for the highest concentration, so the dog must survey the whole area in order to know if that is the rewarding spot. It may be, it may not. So some dogs will tell you every concentration of odor. Other dogs will survey the entire thing and then go back to each of those higher concentrations and tell you about them, but they want to survey the whole thing first. So the dogs, you asked about dogs, they all work different, and we just learn to read them instead of us trying to teach the ultimate hunter how to hunt. Our nose can't find that odor, so how do we teach a dog to find that odor? What we do is teach them what odor we want, teach them that it's rewardable and it has value for them, and then we allow them to learn how to do it.
How can they tell the difference between human blood and beer?
Well, first of all, it's human odor of decomposition. It's not necessarily blood. It's all kinds. Our body has got over 400 different odors coming off of it as it decomposes, and then you've got different stages of decomposition. So we're very careful not to say that it's blood or bone or teeth, because think about everything that's in your body, not just blood. Then they each have different. So some of the odors of decomposition, even vegetables, are the same odors that come off of the human body that's decomposing, but everything has a unique signature. So our dogs are specifically trained off of animal and do human. Europe and Canada, they cannot have any human waste, any human decomposition to train their dogs. So they train on pig. It's close enough that they train them on pig, they will find human. But what else do they find? Pig. Right? So we don't train on that, and we actually proof off of everything else. But that's only, I'm sure Canada and Europe would love to train the way we do, but their laws don't allow it.
Interesting.
So they do the best they can. So do some hit on animal? Yep, they do. And will ours? We are constantly, people ask how long it takes to train. As long as you're deploying your dogs, you're training your dogs. It's that simple. So they come to a certain point, and then we have to continue. So we brought training aids. We do this. We go. We proof them off of everything else. We get them back on their target odor. Then we come and do this again, and then we take them off, because what else is there? I'm going to bet mice and insects and everything else where both dogs really thought it was strong. What other odors are there? You've got mice that have gone in there. You've got birds that have reached in there to get the insects, there's all kinds of odors. It's not single odor. So as we reward that, what if they tear it again? So it's our constant job to pull all of that back out. Native American burials, if they're on the ocean side, they bury them with shells. So as we do burial after burial after burial that has shells in it, what is our dog now prepared?
Mm-hmm.
So what if there's only shells and not humans? If there's human and shells, they're going to go to the human. What if there's no human? They're going to go, well, this is close, sort of. So that's why we're constantly training.
Yeah.
They're really, that one spot is really strong. The monument this time, last time was overwhelming with odor, and this time
Not as much. Nope.
no.
Mojo was going up it though.
She was going up a little bit, and she was,
She did there's a piece broken off on that side, a little bit of that cement, so there's a hose,
right?
in a sense, where odor will be trapped.
Yeah.
And so she ended up going back to that multiple times and finally alerted there on the back side of it. But again, there's a lot of odor there, but where exactly is it coming from? And how do I get to it? And how do I tell you where it is? So it is like your head. It's a lot of odor in that one darker spot.
I have other.
Okay, all right.
And that rock last time
Was super hot. Yes.
Hot. And this time,
It has odor. It definitely has odor. And she was around it on it, and she was eating grass more around that rock than anywhere, and then the double rock area. Yeah. Very interesting.
that badger initially had odor. Last
No.
last year they came.
And they went
Badger wanted to jump the wall. He went over there.
Yeah.
He's gone, right?
I honestly, I was like you. I came in going, no, come on. You people are nuts.
I didn't
And
think
my-
that.
Well, I did. I was like, they picked it all up.
Yeah.
Nobody's buried here. How could there be odor? It's 160 years later. There's just no way, right?
Yeah, it's fascinating.
And I had my other dog with me, my older dog, more experienced. And man, and she came in and just plopped, and I was like, oh, what just happened? They're not
Wow.
crazy. Maybe.
Maybe we're not crazy. Yeah.
How you said you asked the dog to detail? How do you do that?
I just presented. I said,
okay.
check.
Oh, okay.
Now, some people detail is check, and they want the dog's nose. I want you to check that.
Okay.
And so he went,
All right. That's cool.
I'll do that. So out here, out in the field, it's very different because this is contained.
Mm-hmm.
Out in the field, the dogs are going to move faster, and they will end up having to slow to tell us where there's odor. Because we can't ask them to check under every blade of grass. We will make sure that if there's rocks there, rocks will hold odor. So we'll make sure our dog has gotten to the rock. We might present the rock, but more than anything, our body just moves them so that they go to it. They make up their mind. We do not try to influence them at all. But we have to get them to it. If we don't give them the opportunity to sniff it, then they're not going to find it. So
Does fire affect any of this at all?
we actually do in California when they have those fires that take out the houses. How many people have the remains of their family members in their house? They intend to spread them, or they've got them on the mantle. And so we'll go in and find those remains. So not only has the body been cremated with fire,
Right.
but then the fire has burnt over it, and we can still, the dogs will find
Wow.
the odor of those.
Isn't that crazy?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So
It's
So
cool.
then I also
Cremate?
have animal
Yes,
cremains.
and they work with archaeologists for this, so the
And they
dogs
can
will
tell the
tell them
difference
where it's
between
at,
that.
location-wise, because then they actually have to excavate.
Yeah.
And they can actually tell the difference in the color of cremains and the consistency of it from all the rest of the ash around it, which I think is amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the dogs do an amazing job, but the archaeologists are pretty awesome too. Like the fact, I'm like, it all just looks like ash
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Wow.
It's like walking through with the archaeologist or a man tracker, and they're going,
Oh, don't you see
look,
that? You
there's
see that?
3
You see
people that walked through here, and you're going, really? Or they go, oh, look, there's a burial there. Really,
That's
I
amazing.
just see bare ground.
Yeah.
Right? Same thing with the
Yeah.
dogs. Once you start watching, once you start listening, then all of a sudden you can see what they're doing, and it's really obvious. But at first, all right, shall we go?
We should, because it's
Yeah.
lovely.
Bill's mat. So that he's got that. Okay, the dogs are starting to go downhill.
Yeah.
Tell me what you're showing on the camera.
We have live tracking on the two dogs working out in the field, and if they alert, we'll see an alert signal appear in here, so we can tell real time what's going on.
Recording noise, so that I can just do my zoom and push the button. All right, so if we're parked over here, this was our area on the bottom side of the hill. And we worked our dogs very much up here. The dogs had nothing. Colette stayed up top here. I worked down this way because Badger started getting things, but as he was indicating here, he's pointing his nose down the hill and sniffing the air. So is there odor there? Without a doubt. But he also said it's coming from here. So was it blowing in and going into caches? So we call them scent pools or collection points. Is that what he was hitting? But he wanted to go down farther, so that's why I came down farther. We worked and worked along this way until we got to here, where I was down, Colette was up. Both dogs had nothing. They no longer had odor. They were still working, but they didn't have odor, behavior, or body language. And so we said we're going back. Now, down here, I was down lower, and Colette had asked, did I lose odor? Was this a break point? And it really wasn't. He was on this edge where he had odor, kept working back. But I would want to go down here and see that he had nothing. And that tells me a break point. That's what we had here. And that's really what you want here. But then you also have timelines. Our daytime as well as the dog's nose time. And so how much do you really want to do? So of course this direction will be working again later. But so that's kind of what we were working. We've got points in there. We do kind of descriptions of the points so that if there's a rock, that's a collection point because moisture stays under the rocks because the sun's not beating directly on that moisture. But also where we had dips, or you could see where the water was running down the hillside. So you've got a channel. Not only does things come down, but think about wind going up the canyon, so it's bringing it up. And again, those are collection points. So with historical human remains, we really have to work on reading our dog and reading the landscape. We believe the dogs that there's odor there. But why is the odor there? Is it a scent magnet? Is it a collection point? Is it a scent pool? Is there water running through that's attaching to? So you see where we call this the PhD level of detection work or human remains work. It's not really the dog. It is the dog, but it's also the handler. Can you read the landscape? Can you read your dog's behavior? Is your dog
They do.
going, there's a huge scent pull here, but I can't find anything? Can you read that? Or do you just disregard and not recognize or mark that for people? So a lot of education, a lot of higher education is involved in what we're doing. So you were talking about and asked about the training we give our dogs. Detection work is detection work. Whether you're doing bomb work, you're doing narcotics, you're doing human remains. Detection work is detection work, especially at the beginning. First you have to have a dog that has a good reward system, so they have high play drive or high prey drive. Then you match, build that drive. Then you put the odor. If you find that odor, you will get your reward. Period. Odor equals reward. Now some people train a little different. I train where odor equals reward, and once that's solid, then I teach the dog a final response. I don't really care about the final response, because if you watch all dogs, they're sniffing and they're working, and they all will have what I call point of discovery, where all of a sudden they go, here. That's what I'm watching for. I could care less about the sit her down. If I can't read that before they sit her down, all dogs sit and down. Every pet dog sits and down. So what does that mean? 0 without the prior behavior. You need that behavior beforehand to make the sit or the down have meaning. So anyway, that's the first thing we do. You have to choose a dog that has a high play drive or prey drive. Then you can do food drive. I prefer not to. If you're hot, if you're tired, when you get older, you don't care about food. So if the dog is working for food, then the dog must want the food. Otherwise, they're not going to do the work. They don't care about historical human remains. Most dogs don't care about human decomposition, period, because it has no intricate value to the dog. We don't leave humans laying around, and an old dry bone, the only critter that's going to eat that is rodents, and they do it to file their teeth and get calcium. So it really is not a high food value item. So that reward that we give them, whether it's tug, toy, ball, fetch, has to be important enough to do something normally they would not do. So then I put a final response into them. So where does human remains or HRD dogs differ from HHRD or historical and pre-contact dogs? Our dog's thresholds, scent threshold, is much lower. So human remains dogs can occasionally find a historical burial. Horseshoes and hand grenades. If the conditions are perfect, the odor is available, the dog's going to go to it. But in historical human remains, it's about repeatability. Can they do it consistently across all environments, terrain, etc.? So what do we have to do? Our dogs will find bodies, without a doubt. But we spend 80 to 90% of our training time in those lighter, smaller odors, in the more complex odors. And then people wonder, because we train our dogs on teeth, and they're going, are you looking for teeth? I'm going to say, no, we're not. But the way the odor of teeth goes, it spreads really quickly. And the dogs are learning how to put their nose down and work where they've got a huge amount of odor and find a specific spot. So that's why, more than anything, why we train on teeth. But we assess our dogs definitely semi-annually. We have specific tests, but we're doing assessments throughout the entire time. This project here, we're coming high because we know their stuff. That cemetery you were talking about, she and I are really jacked up about finding it. But the more our dogs have the opportunity to do this in the field, you know, the real, how do we get this? We can't put a body in the ground and wait 80 years and then train our dogs that, right?
Yeah.
So we're dependent on knowing where things are that have naturally aged and then going and doing it. But if you keep going to the same site over and over, pretty soon, well, and dogs have, people say dogs have memories. I don't believe that. They don't have the brain neural pathways for it, but they do have emotional responses to a stimuli. So what that means, if they see somebody with a hat and that person gives them joy, it's playing ball, tugging, whatever, when they see that hat or they see a shadow that's got that hat, they get immediate joy. So did Badger remember this place? Now, obviously Mojo did not, because Mojo hasn't been here before. But when Badger got here, subconsciously, this is a fun place. If you go to Disneyland, right? If you go to Disneyland and you have fun, you immediately, your brain brings joy, whether it brings the memory or not. If you go to Disneyland and a traumatic event happened, you would walk in there and you would have a negative emotion. So dogs, their sense of smell, everything else. Does he remember that one rock? I doubt it. When scientists have diagnosed the brain, that part's not there. But he had odor there. He's jacked up. He's excited because this has been a fun place last time he was here. So sometimes it can look like memory, but it's not really. It is a emotional response to a stimuli, which is the odors that are here. So anyway, that's how we train the dogs. And then our dogs, they're never finished being trained. No detection, no dog should ever be finished. But we do a certification. When the dogs are certified, they still have to have field experience.
Okay,
because
good. I figured it was a
certified,
ride.
again, we have to put odor or source on surface, which is not what we're doing out in the field. So we train the dogs, we make sure that the dogs understand this odor equals a reward. So that system is all in place. Then we take them out in the field where either an experienced dog has already indicated or it's an area that we worked years ago. So we'll take the dog and handler in there and see if they can do it.
So where do you have the testing, the certification?
So the testing and certification is something that we set up, and it's set up on the surface. So what's more important is that project experience, where they go out in the field and do what has been buried for hundreds or thousands of years. They go out there.
Is it a certain place or is it certain?
ICF is based mostly in California, in the Bay Area. They've worked that so many times that they've got so many areas that are known, but the Native Americans do not mark them. They don't want them marked. They don't want them dug up. They don't want people to identify where they're at. And so they have been identified. One in particular is at a library.
Okay, so you go there, like if anybody wanted to have a trained cadaver dog, then you have certain certifications that they have to travel then to California for the testing and certification?
We have other areas in other states. And so they, if they're there, we'll take new dogs and handlers there. We'll take our young dogs to get experience to those areas. But just to make sure that when they go out in the field that they really can do what we think they can do. Right. So then a lot of times when we go on projects, we can invite a team that's certified but it does not have their ground experience. They can go and they can get it there as well. Just as they come, they're not paid to go there. A lot of the projects that we do through ICF is paid, where either Parks Department, road departments, Native American tribes have hired us and invited us
That
to
helps
come.
bring people, right?
And then they pay our expenses and then pay for us for our time. Then we have others that we do that we're curious about and we enjoy. So sometimes our paid people will invite others to come. If it's in your backyard, you have nothing to do that day. Why wouldn't you go and play with your dog? Because we all love playing with our dogs. So we get a lot of experience that way. And we're constantly, every project, we're assessing the dog and the handler, just to make sure that we don't have any problems or issues coming in.
Yeah, it was. I did that. My sister got married.
We can't verify.
She had a wedding reception.
Sometimes they're verified through GPR.
Okay.
You know, people have gone, we just came back from a project where they had GPR'd it. They've done everything. The dogs were the last thing coming in, which is unusual. But we didn't know anything. We set the dogs out. One lady had come from Germany because she did the GPR, shipped out. She actually came in knowing the dogs were coming, and the dogs found the anomaly that she found.
Wow.
So GPR shows an anomaly, but you don't know what that means. Could be a latrine they dug. If you don't know. And so then the dogs come in and say, with that anomaly, there is the odor of human decomposition. And so now, short of digging, which archaeology is getting almost completely away from that, you've got all the information. And you start getting your LiDAR, you get your archaeologists, you get a whole team in there, and to the best of everybody's ability, short of digging,
That's the one.
you know that what it is. It's not just
How many teams of dogs do you have in your organization?
It fluctuates. We go anywhere from 10 to 15.
And that's across the United States?
Yeah.
We have teams in Idaho, Arizona, Oregon. Is that all right now?
Yeah, it's California.
Okay.
Yeah. But so the main base is California, but we are slowly kind of spreading out, but not every dog and not every handler is capable of doing this. And then if you're not in the Bay Area, that means you have to travel to go actually work with other people. And working with other people is where you really gain a lot of knowledge and a lot of
How'd you get your wagon
information.
to this?
So it's hard if you're not
How'd you know
with a
Judy?
group, at least a couple of you
Just
all in the
everywhere?
same place. So Colette is out there pretty well by herself.
Yeah.
And
Right,
she's
I got it.
capable of doing that because of her experience and her knowledge. But we couldn't get to be a really good person, but nobody around them and not having a lot of experience. So even though they're great and we'd love to have them, they don't have the support system in place that they need. Or you get Colette, myself, we can do it. We still travel and we still go to the Bay Area at least twice a year, and usually more than that, so that the support system's in place and we exchange knowledge. And so, but yeah, that's the problem with trying to grow though.
Yeah.
Is how do you get that support system in place? It has to start with one person, and then you can slowly expand. But that's why you'll see us all on the West Coast for now.
It's a lovely thing to have
and then
a
it
good
moves.
researcher, is
But
that?
we go as far as we've been to New York, we've been to Canada. Yeah, so we're doing foreign as well. Oh yeah, yeah. So, and it's expanding constantly. Right. Things like collections.
I
That
thought
has
about
just been put in the last couple of years.
I did get hot.
Where museums and universities need to give their collections back. But how do you identify it all? You know, it's a daunting task, especially when most of the curators inherited this stuff.
Yeah.
So it's in the back
Where's it?
closet.
Where's it from?
Yeah.
Oh, it could be
Okay,
anywhere,
for sure.
right?
I know.
One of the universities,
I
they
know
have
it's
a
just like
complete log
difference
of everything they've got.
in the vernacular.
But, yeah, here's the problem. They moved it from this building to this building and then back again and then back again. And then it's here and they have 3/4 of the stuff that they are supposed to have. So did it get destroyed? Did it get lost? Did somebody take it home? Or is it somewhere in one of the back closets?
Yep.
And so who can find that? You know,
Happy
the
closet.
dogs.
What's in your closet?
Ooh, I got lots of things in my closet. But you see what task they got.
Yeah.
And then
We
you've
do
got
this. Yes.
okay, so then you've got the funerary items. They're not human. It's
Right.
not, but it was
with
a baby
yeah.
was buried
Yeah.
with that cradle board, and then somebody dug it up, hung on to it, then gave it to you.
Yeah.
You have no providence of
Exactly.
it. You have no clue.
Yeah.
So really, the only one that can tell you without destroying it is the dogs.
Yeah.
The dogs will tell you that there is the odor of human decomposition on it.
I was recently given a handkerchief that was buried in our cemetery.
Do you still have it?
I just put it on exhibit. We can go.
Oh, she's got a handkerchief.
I heard. His ear is very
And, you know,
active right now.
Another museum.
My
wouldn't
eyes
take
are here,
it
but
because they don't take anything that was buried with human remains. And I'm like, why can't you accept it? But I can. State Wyoming doesn't have that stipulation.
Right, which is good because what else are you going to do with it?
I know.
We've had numerous items like that. That you know, so kind of goes back to we just had a symposium. We were at the SAA or what's that? What is it? Society of American Archaeology, and we're talking to people. And one of the things about the collections, everybody thinks if the dogs indicate on it, or if it is, that all the tribes want it back.
No, they don't.
No, they do kind of want to have a say in what happens to it, but they don't have museums. They have no way of putting it anywhere.
Sure.
They just want to say.
Yes, exactly. We had something in our collection recently, and we asked everybody who could possibly be affiliated, and nobody could say, "Oh, that's from our tribe." They're like, "We don't want it, but thank you. Thank you for asking us."
Right.
Yeah, or they can rebury it somewhere else that's not marked, or
Right, so
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
repatriate.
yeah,
We had a
exactly.
petrified human femur at our museum. And last year we replaced Montana, and they has a process for that. And so the head of the Cheyenne Cultural Commission came and took it, and we
Yeah.
reburied it.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And so I had a museum. I'd be afraid to have the dogs come in. You know, what they don't realize is when we come in and do our work, you're the only one that gets the information.
Yeah.
We are not obligated to go to the tribes and tell the tribes that we did this. We're just there to, whoever the client is, whether it's a paying client or not, whoever the client is gets it. So then anything we do or say is through permission if we give direct. You know, if we say we worked in New York, you know, that's not hurting anything. We have to be very careful because if we're talking to archaeologists, we put a picture up and
like,
we're going,
oh.
it was nothing.
Yeah.
There was no marks on that anybody could know. And one of the people in the audience, one of the archaeologists, goes, I know exactly where that is.
No, you don't.
We cannot hide.
No, you do not.
Oh yeah, we immediately say you do not know where that is, and you will
Yep.
not say anything.
That's right. That's right.
But you know, people with knowledge will see a picture, and yeah. So we are very careful, and even then, being as careful as we are, sometimes some people are very knowledgeable and remember that they saw that
Yeah.
at
Yes.
one time or another.
Yeah.
Yes, so now we're really trying to let people know, don't be afraid to bring the dogs in.
Yeah.
You know, they can give you everything from, we had little pieces of bone, some of them half that size, on paper, spread out, and we went and we sniffed. So they opened up some of their collections. and individually off-gas them a little bit. But we also went into their shelving where they had the banker boxes all together. A beautiful setup. And we were able to work that and identify 4 boxes for them to highlight. Because they have to go through everything, right?
Yeah.
But where do you start? You know, you're just tossing a coin and picking. Why not go where the dogs have said, check these boxes? So now they're going to go through those boxes right away.
Yeah.
And once they finish those boxes, you know, at least they have a plan.
Wow.
Instead of trying to do it all, you know, trying to go one by one. And now the tribes realize that you're really trying to work at it. Instead of you check 40% of your collection, they have received nothing. So now they don't realize that you really are working at it.
Yeah.
But can you imagine if you can shrink that down, whether it's a room, a storeroom, where everything's laying on the floor and it's a mess, you've seen those.
Yeah.
But whether it's that, and we can say, check this corner, or it's boxes, and we can say, check this box. And now all of a sudden you can get things back to the Native Americans, and they see progress, they see the attempt, where you could be working at it at the beginning, but if you're not giving them anything, they do not see the work that you are doing. So that's what the dogs can do.
That's cool.
Just break it all down. It's pretty fun. But for all the fun and how good the dogs are, the amount of work that we do, I tell people training that we do, I tell people you better like training your dog. Because some people like working dogs, and if you're doing human remains or you're doing cadaver work, that's fine. You can work your dog. If you're doing what we're doing, you better enjoy training your dog. Because you should be spending way more time training than you're working. Way more time.
So it's every day you're training. Do they get a day off?
Well, okay, so our dog's definition of a day off is a boring day. It's not fun. Now, if we were doing things like we did today, every single day, then suddenly it's no longer fun. Because it's such a complicated, hard problem. But for them to do nothing, I guarantee you they will find something to do and it will not be fun to enjoy. And so, yeah, our dogs have to think that this work is fun, which also means we have to make sure it's fun. So like what we did today, the weather was really good. The dogs seemed to think the odor was good. So this is kind of an average day for them, pretty good day. Last time we were out here, it was very hot, it was very warm. We walked way out to the point before we ever started, and the dogs were having a blast until they walked. And so then we have to go back to our hotel and remind them how much fun it is, so that they can go back the next day. So a break, their break is we put source on service, and they get to go, and it's just a quick, fast, automatic answer. They don't really have to think or work at it. Or we put one source out in a real complex problem, where they have one source to go to. What we did, this is all scattered. And so they have to, again, back to the hat, they find the location, that's pretty easy, but then they have to find a spot to actually indicate it. And that, you can do that at first, it's really fun. And then you start getting really tired. And so the dogs get sloppy, which means either they start giving us indications without actually finding the highest concentration, or they get really sloppy in the end where they go, well, I know there's something there, but it's going to be hard, so I'm just going to keep on going. So our ability to gauge the dogs, Colette and I had come into this and said, we're going to work 20 minutes and give them a break, based on what we did last year. 20 minutes, give them a break. It's a good estimated time. But with as cool as it was and the way the dogs were working, we're watching the dogs, and yes, we have a tendency to push them a little bit, but we're also watching the dogs to see, are we seeing fatigue? Are we seeing frustration? Are we seeing problems and issues? And if we're not, dogs are fine. So it's really watching and engaging your dog on the feedback. So do we know our dogs?
Well,
We have to know, is my dog sick? Is my dog tired? Is my dog still having fun? Can I push my dog? Now, if we're hired and we go out and they ask us to do collections, and we've said yes, and our dog gets tired, we have to know how to rejuvenate our dogs. We have to be able to push our dogs. You can't just say no. We said we were going to do it. So we're careful which dogs we send where to make sure. Think what we did now, and then I think we had one of those areas we had 30 little tiny things that when they sniffed, it stuck to them. Right?
A little smaller than the top of my pinky. Okay, I used to have a French on there. It was helpful for the demonstration purpose.
Yes.
But literally, her nostril is bigger than what her masculine can sniff. So I'm like, sniff it, not too hard.
Go right here and right here.
Okay, I updated your on.
Okay, here we are at the French Pete fight, and we have Larry and Mary are here, and their neighbors.
Oh, man.
So I thought, I don't need to be over on the
That's right.
hillside.
Yeah.
too bad.
I can
Wait
stand
for
in the
this.
rain right here at my house.
Yeah. Wait for everybody to show up.
Did you take some picture in our yard, Matthew?
He just did. He just bit the grass. Mojo did. Right about where she's standing. Now he's sitting again. Okay, now we got two sitting. There were 2 graves on the knoll with 2 bodies in each grave. We've always thought it was on the side of the knoll. Is that where they're sitting? They bite the grass. That means they're tasting it, they're smelling it. This is where it is. They're really excited.
Okay.
And he just did that. You saw that?
Yes.
Halfway up the hill.
That's what we were
Then
watching.
they both sat. So when they go and they sit, that's
And
I think his
that's where
signature.
we anticipate,
Yeah,
isn't
exactly.
it? It's
Exactly
where we were
anticipate
thinking it was,
on the
right
side
here
of
on
the
this
hill.
side hill.
I'm not sure. I think he's giving the same signal that
Yeah.
Mojo did. Mojo's the brown dog. Colette.
Well, this is what they're supposed to do, right?
Exactly, and I'm so glad to see those 2 signatures right now.
Just right there.
Right there, that's where
we
we
walk
needed
out
it.
in the pasture here.
Exactly
They are.
where we needed Mary. Monument that the gases of the decomposed bodies, any kind of human decaying, it's brain, it's blood, it's anything human. We always thought it was blood, but it's not. It's anything
Okay.
of the body that's decaying, and they will continue to have that gas and the smell come up through the rock, porous, through the cement because it's porous, and those dogs want to climb the monument. And they climbed it loud. All 3 of the dogs kept going back, wanting to climb it. And so they kept smelling it all the way up the monument.
Wow.
Even
after
all these years and all the weather. Now, today they could smell it pretty good, but when it's hot, last September when they were here, it was just too hot. And the smells were not coming to them, and so they didn't do a really good survey last September because it was too hot.
And so
but today it was a good day. They worked in the rain just fine, and he saw it again.
Yep. He's sitting around the same area up in there.
So if you see on the 2 other dogs, the brown dog and Badger, you'll see their collar. It's a black collar with an antenna in it.
Yes.
They're marking everything that they're doing.
The dogs are marking, the people are marking, the GPS, every place
everything.
They stop.
So you'll see her, what she's doing. Yep. She's marking that the dog sat or the dog did something. She has a certain cue for.
Getting my dogs to come back when I call them. I see somebody walking on their phone.
No.
We can't hear you.
Are you talking to me?
Oh, were you saying something?
My family said it's hailing in Sheridan right now.
Oh, yeah.
My mom sent me or texted. She's like, "I hope you're inside." I'm like, "No, it's beautiful here, but we can hear your thunder." Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Exactly.
With our
Barker.
Good walker.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that's the reward for finding something, getting to play.
We may have to do this, finish this up.
It's getting very dark over there.
It's getting kind of dark.
Yes, very dark.
I'm glad I didn't plant a garden.
Hi.
Are we supposed to talk to you or not? I don't know.
That's you, that's fine. He
Okay.
really does not.
He does not.
Not while he's working. He's like,
Yeah,
Focus.
I'm serious. Yeah.
So one of my questions, having been out there and seeing what's going on, put a cross in one spot. Would you like to know us put flags where the dogs sit?
Yes.
We have flags. If somebody would like to go to my car, and when you open the doors, you'll see where the back seat sits up against. You'll see some flags there. If you would bring those, that would be great. Yeah.
So you think there was something up there?
Oh, guaranteed. that was. They were from clear back here.
Yeah. They all headed for it.
Oh,
Yeah.
They really like that one rock, sure.
They like this rock, but on the other
That's
side,
right. Well, we
it's
can't
even
see.
right. We can't
Really?
see, but the other side they actually worked for. So when the dogs are at rocks, those are odor collectors.
Right, probably.
Right. So it could be over here, but all the odor is going to collect against those rocks or trees. You've got the roots, so odor follows the path of these
honor all of them because the dogs find odor, and they definitely found odor.
That's wonderful.
But as we put the flags up, then we start going, odor is here and here and here and here. Now why? Why is the odor there? One burial could produce 10 alerts. And as you diagnose those alerts, then you can hone in closer. But unless you do GPR, and which this is all disturbed because they dug, they buried, then they dug it up, and then they filled it in. So it's all disturbed. So GPRs don't even tell you much. Old pictures will tell you. And then looking at where odor is.
Good idea.
And
Nice to meet you.
I'll see you again
Okay.
sometime. We'll get Ford or wherever you do things.
Because wherever the
Oh,
source
yeah,
is
I'm
strongest
everywhere,
and
so
it's emanating
I'm always
from
at the
something,